this is how good Strickland is. Don't get it twisted. I know he says some wild shit. You might not like his fighting style, but don't get it twisted. Strickland went 25 minutes with him and beat the brakes off of him, melted this dude on short notice. If you all remember, he lost to Cannonier, which I thought he won that fight. Lost decision to Cannonier. Then to redeem himself on short notice, he fought Imavov and beat the shit out of him for 25 minutes. Arguably the most impressive win of his career. Oh, what about Izzy? That wasn't the same Izzy. Good win. Great win, but that wasn't prime Izzy. Imavov's in his prime. Strickland took on short notice and dog-walked that dude. So I remember that Imavov. Y'all can tell me he's the next champ and he beat Izzy. Cool. Just recently, not that long ago, Strickland dog-walked him on short notice for 25 minutes. Y'all must have forgot. So he's about 1 or 2 away, at least 1 away from fighting for a title. I think DDP would dog-walk him too, to be honest with you. DDP's a fucking tough one, man. Technique's not the best. He has this it factor. He's a big fucking dude, man. He's big. Big, solid fucking African dude, man. He's a problem. It's just his mentality. He's a fucking problem. And this rematch, it sucks for Strickland. He has to go fucking back over there, right? They never let Strickland fight in America unless it's on short notice at the Apex and shit. So Strickland has to go back over there and fight DDP. I think it's the right choice because I thought nobody was robbed. If you want to argue that DDP won that fight, cool, you're right. I would argue that Strickland won that fight. Nobody was robbed. It was a close fight. I give it to Strickland. So I'd like to see the rematch. My issue with this fight, I don't have an issue with the fight, but with this fight is when you look at the first fight, if you look at what DDP had success, you look at Strickland's success, there's not much more Strickland can do with his skill set. Apply pressure, defensive striking, volume punching. He's gonna land more shots because he throws more shots, but he's not a power puncher. He's not gonna finish DDP. That's not happening. He's not a finisher. He applies pressure, wears you out over time. DDP knows this. He has the game plan for it. So if I'm looking at this with an unbiased viewpoint, after watching the first fight, DDP and his team, who's very smart, they have a lot more advantages going into this fight because they can do a lot more. And I don't know what more Strickland can do. I think DDP is going to use more of his wrestling because takedowns win rounds. This is going to be a decision. UFC 312 does suck balls, but I will tell you this. The result, you might have the same names that you had from the fight night last Saturday, but it's overall quality and excitement. There's no way it's worse than the fight night last week at 6 a.m. Guarantee that. That main card was atrocious. So it's going to be better than that. But your main event and your co-main event are probably going to be decision wins. The only way that main event is stopped is if DDP lands on Strickland, which is so tough to do. He's so good at defense. I like the battle of the elites and it's going back and forth. I enjoy that. It's just so tough to finish Strickland. Unless your name's Alex Pierre and he decides to strand with a world-class striker, then you're having problems. With Zhang Weili and Tatiana Suarez, talking about both haven't fought in a hot fucking second. They forced Suarez, who we've always said is the female version could be, but with injuries and all the shit going on, she had such a long layoff. The UFC went, fuck it, she's 31. Let's see what happens. Both of them are old as fuck. Let's see what happens. Somebody come champ. You know, the new crop's coming. We don't have a long time with either of them. Let's do it. Long layoff, ring rust. Again, if that fight gets stopped, probably Tatiana Suarez submitting her in the second or third round. Outside that, you're getting a decision. Great fight. Rooting for Suarez all fucking day. But with DDP, he's just so physical and big and sturdy, and his cardio's better. And in his mind, he's beat Strickland before. His team's looking at that going, we could have scored points here. could have done better here. You could have done better here. And there's a lot of room for improvement, even though he won. And for Strickland, there's not a lot to be said. With Strickland, you can't go, man, if you would have shot here, that's not what he does. Man, if you would have thrown leg kicks here, that's not what he does. The only thing you can really do is, since he's such a defensive fighter, when he circles out, he's still in defense. Maybe you can capitalize on that with some more action, but you're not going to knock DDP out. The problem is DDP, this fighting style, is the judges incorporate that, and just the look of it, it looks like he's dominating when he's not landing much on Strickland. That's how good Strickland is defensively, and he's blocking a lot of shots, but you have these moron judges who don't understand that. They don't understand MMA in any facet, let alone boxing defense. So for Strickland, he's up against the cards here, and you're fighting in Australia. It's a tough test for Strickland. And I thought he beat him the first fight. But DDP's such a physical specimen and has so much room for improvement. It's tough for Strickland. And now Strickland with his team, they're amazing. One of the best teams ever. Love Nick Sick. They're so good. So they're going to come up with some factors to maybe sway the rounds. I just don't know what you do to take over those rounds in a significant way. You can do little tweaks here and there, but not much. DDP can do a lot of tweaks, a lot of changes, and change the majority decision. And then Hamzat's waiting for you. And I think Hamzat DDP is a tough fucking fight for Hamzat. Nightmare for Hamzat. Strickland, Hamzat's probably hoping Strickland wins, to be honest. Again, I'm not sold on Hamzat going past the third. You know? You get a Kamaru Usman fight, guys who are going to push the Strickland and DDP are by far Hamzat's worst matchups. Unless he can get him out there early, good luck finishing DDP early. Good luck finishing Sean Strickland early when it comes to grappling. It ain't happening. So for Hamzat, this is a big test, man. But he matches up worse with DDP. Big fucking strong dude. And is willing to go to the deep, dark waters. Hamzat, again, I'm not saying Hamzat can't. I just haven't seen it. And the 3 rounds that he's been in, he starts to fade at the end there. He really starts to fade. And they're talking about championship level with DDP. They know this. So they're not going to make huge errors in those first 2 rounds and then apply the pressure 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Oof. You guys would bet on Hamzat to beat DDP? I wouldn't. I think Hamzat's a dog in that fight. Strickland be tough for him too. Strickland's a fucking tidal wave man. His cardio just gets better and better and better. Tough fights for Hamzat. For DDP, you beat Izzy, you beat Strickland, you beat Whitaker, and if you beat Hamzat, we go in Sizzler, and you're going up to 205. Because he's a big-ass 85er. I usually don't like if Strickland says he's going to 205, when Izzy said it, I don't like it. Whitaker, I do like at 205. He's a bigger dude. DDP's built for 205. Enjoy that 205. This fucking hoss of an African who's big, strong, fast. The strength difference, he's probably going to have an advantage even there at 205. Good luck. So for DDP, it's going to be Hamzat's a minus 200 favorite.
This is October 2024.
Take my money. I put $5,000 on DDP on that fight. Let's see how he looks this weekend. But if he looks anything like you think, good luck. Good luck, Hamzat. Yeah, for DDP, this fight's so important because it just builds the neck. Boom, that it's Hamzat we've all been waiting for. And you're probably going to have to fight in the Middle East. Sorry, dude. Even though you're champs, dim the rules. Sorry, man.
Dana did say
dim the rules. You know how, hey, be cool. You know how it goes. So he's going to have to fight in the Middle East against Hamzat. You beat him. Now we're going to jump across the pond. You're fighting for 205 belt and making all the money. That'd be a great run. It'd be so much fun to watch.